Hi guys, hope you're having an awesome day. We've got another really great video for you today. I'm going to be forging a knife, as you could see on the thumbnail. This is in response to one of my very good friends trying to skin a warthog in front of me. And yeah, let's just say that knife of his was inadequate to cut through the warthog's skin, let alone actually skin the whole warthog. He spent probably about 2.5 hours on this warthog. I skinned a warthog right next to him in about, I don't know, probably about 10 minutes. And it wasn't because of the sharpness of the knife. We sharpened the knife, went out, did some more skinning, and then we had to sharpen his knife again and again and again, and it was just terrible actually. So I'm gonna fire up the old forge, yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can make. So we're gonna just design the shape of this knife before we start forging. I kind of saw the hunting knife that he was busy working with, and what it had was it sort of had a handle. The design of the knife we're going for. If you take that knife in my hand, it'll be pretty perfect. So yeah. Okay, now we know what we're going for. This is going to have cutaways here as well for grip for your thumb. The knife is full of blood. Let's go ahead and start doing what we need to do to make this happen. Perfect. So these two are to shape the handles, and this one is to shape the blade, because I want it to be a full tang blade. I think I found my two scales. So over here you can see that I have actually put a few drops of super glue on the page. This allows me to see the lines through the page. One I will do this with and the other one I won't, and thus you will have a left and a right scale. Make sure when you're placing the paper to get the most interesting part of the wood in the scale. So here I'm just cutting it out on a bandsaw. This is one of the most useful things I have in the workshop. It really does make light work of grinding it later on. Awesome! Awesome! Yeah, let's go ahead and start the forging actually. Get some wood in here just to start the coals. So let's talk about the steel we're using today. What we're using today is a bearing raceway. So for those who don't know what a bearing raceway is, in your engines and stuff you've got a bearing like this, and I think this one might have seized. Yeah, this one's seized, but this piece moves freely on the inside, and what we've done is we've taken the outer housing and we've cut it out, and so there's where the little balls run around in a circle. Waiting for some of those thinner sticks to collapse, and then we can start putting in the steel, just so that there's enough space to put in the steel. Actually, there's probably enough space now. Make a bit of space. It is hot in there. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but that is white hot. It's going to heat these blades up very quickly. This thing is really hot. And we're just going to continue to beat it like that till we've got it to a reasonable thickness. So I'm going to just jump straight forward to there in the footage, because otherwise we are going to be here all day. What we have here is the plan for the knife. It's just a bit longer than my thumb and to my pinky finger. just want to see how much I've drawn this out. I know it still needs to be flattened a bit, but I just need to know if it needs to be drawn out as well. Yeah, it does need to be drawn out just a little bit more. We're almost there in regard to the paper. Almost there in regard to the paper. It's not far off. I'm going to grab some wood glue and we're going to glue this on to the actual paper. When you're doing this process, make sure that you get your piece of paper nicely lined up, as this wood glue, once it bakes onto your steel when you're cutting it, it will be very difficult to get rid of. So what we've got here is we've got the actual whole thing. We're just going to go ahead and cut it out. So as you can see there, it is perfectly laid out. I've got the little grinder plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and cut this blade out. I'm going to give it a bit, leave a bit on it so that we can just grind it down later. I'm just going to get the rough cut out shape done so long, and then we can do the little bit of grinding and stuff on the sander. So I can't show you close-up footage of this as it actually damages the lens of the camera. I've pretty much thrown away a GoPro because of it. So yeah, this is going to be viewed from a distance. So there we have the profile of the knife. Still got to refine it a bit, but yeah, mostly done with the profile. Let's go ahead and do some more grinding on it just to get it looking nice. I like the design so far. I'm just going to just work it down, get it all leveled with just a sanding bit. I also just like to give a little bit of a bevel with this grinder. It really moves steel very quickly, and this allows you to get a lot done in a very short space of time. At this point, this knife is looking fantastic and I'm really enjoying the look of it. What we have is we have the two holes. I decided to do two instead of three, so there's supposed to be one there and one there, but I decided to put two holes in it there, and then a handle hole at the back here. So there's the two holes. I finished most of the rough grinding. Now obviously it would be the fine sanding, but I'm only going to do that once I've heat treated. I've also done the scales, so they go together, and then they're the pins that are going to go through. And there's the epoxy. Also drilled a few short little holes just to hold this in place. Yeah, this knife is looking really good. We've just got to go ahead, heat treat this, and then go ahead and finish it up. So yeah, let's go heat treat this. You notice that I've only heated up the actual blade itself. I haven't heated up the handle. This will allow the handle to be flexible and the blade to be as hard as a rock. Perfectly straight, exactly what I wanted. I'll just quickly test it. Whew. Skates over it like glass. This is going to be incredibly hard steel though, so it's going to be very, very brittle. So the next process obviously is to get down with a fine sander and just start sanding this blade down, getting it looking as nice as possible. That is ready to go into the scales, and then obviously I will sand it again. I'll give it the final sanding and the polishing. It's the one part. It's equal parts, so it's the other part. Give them a good mixing. If you look at what I'm doing here is I've put it in between two pieces of pine. This really allows you to clamp it really nice and tight as the pine gives way in the vise, and allows you to get that uneven handle perfectly compressed all the way along. You can even hear the pine popping here. This is just a sure sign that you're getting it really nice and tight. Now I'm supposed to wait for tomorrow, but I'm just going to give it a bit of a grind and just have a quick see how fast this wood's going to move. These sanding discs really move a lot of material quickly, and if you are using them, you've got to be so careful not to take too much off your handle. Now it's on to the sanding. This has to be the least fun job in the world. So if you're wondering what wood I've used, this wood is actually wild olive. It is one of the specialties we have in South Africa. So this is the final sand just to clean up any edges that aren't perfectly straight. It really just makes that knife just that little bit extra. It also, in the same process as this, I am also sharpening the knife, which will allow it to be able to cut through paper. So there we have our finished product. It actually turned out really nicely, and very happy with it. Fits my hand perfectly, and I'm very happy with it. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Have a good rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next week's video. Next week on Hunting for Hearts.